Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Happy Monday. My name is Jewel and I'm back today with another video. Gonna go over a couple things, some highlights, some things that I was seeing over the weekend in regards to the transportation and logistics industry. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you clicking that subscribe button, following my channel, following me on social media so that you can see me move and transition and do all the things and provide some quality feedback information in regards to what is happening in the supply chain and logistics industry. If you've not seen any of my videos before, I have a 30+ year background in supply chain and logistics. And with that, I am helping people who are coming into the industry or exploring possible careers in the industry get some feedback, some information as to whether or not this may be the place for them. If you are a creator and you are interested in creating videos like this and you're wondering what software I use Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live helps me do my editing, one-stop shop. I don't have to worry about a lot of post editing. I do some post editing, but I don't have to do a lot of it because most of my editing is done during production, and I use Ecamm Live. So if you are interested, click the link in the description. I will get some little commission monies or something if you do subscribe and sign up for the program, because I am an affiliate marketer. All right, so let's kick it off. What are we looking at today? You know, I like to pull up my little fancy dancy screen. And first on the agenda, if you've not been following the news, the California truckers have been, not all of them, but there's been a great deal of them that have been striking down at the port. And the purpose of the strike is due to this new law called AB5. And the AB5 law basically places these truckers in a different category, and a lot of them are not happy about that. The AB5 law came about because of the gig economy, and a lot of there was a lawsuit that came about from the Uber drivers and how they should be classified. Well, they grouped truck drivers into that ball right there. So this weekend, I guess they took a break. They were tired. They took a break. So it says here the headlines. This is from Reuters. Headlines: California truckers halt gig worker law protest over the weekend as port activity slows. Now, I saw a couple videos. There were some people fussing and cussing and fighting and stuff like that, and nice pictures here. As you can see, the port is very busy, very busy. It's one of 5 of the top ports. But anyway, you know, I'll be honest with you. I definitely understand the reason why these guys are, you know, out there protesting. I mean, I'm a truck driver, though I'm a company driver. If I had my own gig and this law was impacting me, I'm probably sure I'd be out there too, putting up a fight. And the Supreme Court did not hear the argument. So those drivers did not get a chance to speak their piece before the Supreme Court decided to take their vacation or whatever they do. I guess they figured they already caused one problem. They shouldn't cause any more. I'm just going to leave it at that. So on the other side of the news, there was a study that came out. This report is from the Wall Street Journal. There was a study done that said to improve the supply chain, put women in charge of logistics. A study says the research suggests that greater gender diversity can improve supply chain efficiency. Now, I'm not going to go over the whole article. The article highlights some key pieces of making sure that we have a good blend of diversity. Since I have been in supply chain, in transportation and logistics, I'll honestly say the ratio has been, you know, I would say like 46 to 54, something like that. It's not been a big stretch until I got into trucking. Now, the trucking side of the supply chain, there is a huge gap between the diversity of male and females. And so I would see that, I'd like to see that kind of balance out, even out. Overall, I do believe that it is important to diversify, not just in gender, but also in cultures, diversify in the people, because we're in a global supply chain. I mean, there is no such thing as a U.S. supply chain. It is a global supply chain. We get goods from out of the country, they come into the United States, and the people who are a part of those transactions, they're talking to people in other countries. So it is a global supply chain. It needs to be diversified in a number of ways, not just on the male-female side. And I do understand the context of the article is basically stating women add value when it comes to the bottom line, and that is probably due to some of the way women think about things in a strategic way, in analytical way, or always looking for an alternative solution to solve a problem. Now, I say this not to say that men can't do the same thing, but I believe what they're stressing is the fact that you need both sides to balance out the supply chain and help profitability. That's my take on the article, and I'm sticking to it. So this article came out in the Journal of Commerce in July 12th. So it's not new, but I wanted to bring this article to the front because I've been seeing a lot of posts on YouTube. I'm a big YouTube follower of different truckers and stuff, but I've been seeing a lot of posts about the fact that the trucking industry may be crumbling, it may be faltering, it may be, because of the economy is slowing. And as you see here, U.S. truck demand rising despite slowing economy. Because at the end of the day, everything moves by truck. I cannot say that enough. Everything moves by a truck. Everything. This jacket, everything moves by a truck. So the trucking industry may slow down, but it ain't going nowhere. And even when it slows down, trust and believe, it's only for a weekend or a week, but the volumes are coming. Now, if you are if you are an owner operator, or if you're working for an organization and your organization is pipeline is thinned out as far as how much freight is in it, chances are it could be what lane that they're focusing on and what's coming in those lanes that they predominantly work in. If you're owner operator, if you're working in a lane somewhere, oddball place, and your freight is coming primarily out of the Los Angeles ports, well, yeah, right now you are going to be slow because most of your freight that fills in your pipeline is coming out of that port. Now, if they redirect that port or redirect that ship to another port, such as they take it up to Seattle or they bring it down and come all the way around to Savannah, well, that's, the freight just moved to a different port. So your lane was slow, but yet a trucker's lane over here in Savannah, Georgia, their lane just picked up because now they have to help unload that freight that couldn't get unloaded in the port in Los Angeles. So trucking industry is not going anywhere. And with that being said, truck drivers are definitely in high demand. And this weekend, I belong to a group on Facebook with female truck drivers, and a lot of them are out there getting their licenses. Kudos to you ladies. Snap, snap, snaps. I love it. I love it. So I saw a couple questions on the page. Let me increase this a little bit. On the page about getting a job when you're a new truck driver. Now, when I went to truck driving school, the company that I went into was a part of that truck company pool. Basically, they all kind of went together and said, okay, we're going to train students in this group, in this school, and when they graduate, we're going to hire them and bring them out and train them, give them experience. So when I got out of truck driving school, I went straight into an over-the-road driving job. So my experience, I didn't have to search a lot on finding a job. Yet, if you are somebody who is not going through a school, or maybe you've not been able to find a first-time employer, my recommendation would be look on websites like Indeed. And I did a little Google search here to just give a quick idea. Now, of course, these jobs are going to be here in Georgia. If you are somewhere else, it'll look like what it needs to look like for where you live. But just taking a look at some of these: CDL A driver, no experience needed, Butler Transport Inc., located in Lawrenceville, Georgia. They're offering 65 cents per mile. They're saying solo driver up to, you gotta see here, it says up to 65 cents per mile based on experience. So if you don't have experience, don't be looking for that 65 cents a mile. They're also saying that they're averaging weekly $1,100 to $1,500 average weekly pay, $800 per week for trainees. So in other words, that $1,100, $1,500, don't even look at that. You're going to be looking at closer to an $800 a week. And once you're solo, this is it. Once you're solo, start off at 45 cents CPM cost per mile plus bonus. So this up here, that 65 cents per mile, just erase that out. And you're probably going to be making less than 45 cents a mile as you train and get your experience. I remember when I started out, I was like around 18 cents a mile, which I hope it's not that low because that was no money. So go through here. Here's another one, Stevens Transport. They've got Oklahoma plus 10 other locations. And of course, all these top dollars that they're offering. If you are new to trucking, this ain't for you as far as what your top dollar is going to be. Top drivers are making, when I say top drivers, they've got at least 5 years experience behind the wheel, no accidents, and they've got a, good driving history record, all that good stuff. That's who they're really trying to bring in. At the same time, they're offering you an opportunity to get your feet wet, get out here and learn to drive. Now, this is July. We're about to hit August. So for you new drivers out there, if you are just now getting your license and you want to get out here and go over the road, because over the road is a faster way to get your license because you're doing straight mileage, okay? Doing a lot of driving. You won't really do, a lot of backing because you're not hitting the dock every day. Most of the time, you're driving 3 to 4 times or 3 to 4 days a week. You get to your destination, you drop your load, you might get another load and sit on it on the weekend, drive, deliver it on Monday. You might get another load, deliver it on Wednesday, get another load, deliver on Friday, sit for the weekend. That's kind of like how my schedule was. What I'm saying here with all of this is the over the road would be a better route for you to go and get your experience and get your feet wet. And now that it is July, let's see, winter will start hitting some states. I remember it snowing one time in up there off of 81 between New Jersey and I was going to Pennsylvania area. It snowed, and that was in October. So why am I telling you this? Because the months are gonna start getting cooler in the northern states, especially across in that Lake Michigan area, when they're going to start getting that cooler breeze coming in. So they're going to start seeing snow a little bit sooner. They're going to start seeing ice a little bit sooner, a lot of dampness. So if you've not had the opportunity to drive, I definitely recommend you get in those seats now. That way you can get comfortable in these summer months still popping off. And then by the time winter comes, you feel a little bit better about being in that seat when that snow and ice is on the road, because that's a reality. If you think you're going to be out here driving with flip-flops on all day, every day, and you're over the road, you are mistaken. I trust and believe. I have been in Chicago storms, snow up to my knees when I had to get out, drop a trailer, hook it back up, sliding all over the parking lot. Didn't have an accident though. But what helped me was I started in February. By the time I hit that heavy snow, I'd already been driving between March all the way up until August. So I hit some rain spots. If you're not good at driving in the rain, Florida is going to give you all the experience you need during the hurricane season. So I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you from my experience, get into one of these companies, give them a call, look on Indeed, call around to organizations. If you're out in truck stops like Pilot, Flying J, Love's truck stops, you got any of those near you, go to those truck stops, hang out around with the truck drivers, ask them questions. I'm telling you, most truck drivers, they love talking to you because they don't have anybody to talk to. So they will answer your questions. If you approach them with some kindness, don't be cocky, don't be, just be cool with them. But they'll talk to you. They'll give you some information, some pointers, and tell you about the real deal. And have a couple questions about, what's it like being out there? How long they've been in the industry? Do they know any companies that might be hiring new drivers? All of those things might be, they'll be able to help you out with. All right, so I just wanted to give you guys who are looking for entering in the trucking industry and pop off on some important news. I shouldn't say pop off, such slang. But wanted to give you some good news and let you know the trucking industry is not going nowhere, baby. It ain't going nowhere. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I am going to see you on the next week. And peace, my brothers and sisters.